So the other little project that I've got going today is the restoration of my greenhouse after some significant winds. As you can see, I had a combination of clips and some silicone to keep the panels in, but unfortunately we had some extreme weather conditions and the winds come along and blowing out most of the panels. I managed to recover all of them bar one, which went over to the neighbour, and she kindly retrieved the panel back to me. But this time around I'm going to give it a more decent beading of silicone and repair it. What I've done, I've just put the panels back in, I've put the clips in, and I've bulked up the sides there with a little bit of silicone. I had the silicone in there before, but it's blown out. I'll put some string around the panels temporarily in case we get some other high winds, just to try and avoid it blowing out quickly again. But I think what I'll need to do is get some stronger, more robust wire, perhaps a plastic clothesline which has a little bit of metal running through it, so that I can make it even stronger. In the coming weeks, what I'll be doing here, I've set up some bricks which I got off Gumtree recently. I'll be setting up another greenhouse. I've got a second greenhouse still in the box, and I'll share the setting up process of that. The original greenhouse, it's a little bit of a painful exercise because the instructions aren't very clear. So I'll show you how to set up that little greenhouse there. And eventually the plan is for my wife to put some of her orchids into this greenhouse on the side there, whereas this other greenhouse was originally for her orchids, but I've turned it into a bit of a berry greenhouse. And as you can see, there's some beautiful strawberries that are coming up, really delicious. The boys just chomp on them. You can't beat the flavour because you're picking them straight as they ripen, unlike the store-bought ones which are picked a little bit earlier. As you can see, during the storm event, one of the neighbours has probably got hold of one of my panels in their backyard. I thought I managed to catch them all before they blew away, but as I put them back in, I realised I was missing one. So what I'll eventually do is put a little bit of green shade cloth over that to cover it up, to stop the birds coming in if they do. But as I've walked into the greenhouse, I'm still getting the warm effect, so it's no big issue. It just increases the air circulation, which is a good thing for the strawberries anyway, because they can suffer from mildew effects from time to time. And what I have down here on the other side here are my blueberry plants. I did have them in a box in the ground, but they weren't doing very well. And you might realise that with blueberries, they tend to like acidified soil. I had them in pots at one stage. They were doing well. Then I put them into the ground. They didn't do so well, and so I've moved them back into pots and putting them in the greenhouse. And this putting them in the greenhouse also allows protection from the birds as well. So these strawberries have been growing over the years. Some have been bought from Bunnings, and some I bought, I think it was about 20-30 shoots that I bought from Queensland. And I planted them all, and they're all most of them have taken. I've probably lost a handful of them, but as you can see, I've got quite a few strawberries here. Hopefully in the next couple of years I'll have enough to do a bit of jamming.